you're late to work, who gives a fuck? It's your life, bitch! Fuck you, boss, I'm late! I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch! Late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! You gonna fire me? That's cute! Late, 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 late! Ah.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. It's not like,
man. Thank goodness.
Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG here with you on this fine Tuesday evening. I've got Blue Bum in the wings. I'm about to bring him up. But BTC has had a bit of a dump. Some would call it perhaps a bit of a bull trap.
Man, you don't want to get trapped in front of a bull, do you?
You do not want to get mauled by a bull. Absolutely not.
Do you reckon it's a bull trap, huh?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Do you think it's a bear market now?
No, it feels very bullish. You're right. Yeah.
I think this is just what's happening is going to scare some people out.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, look, no one knows the future, but
people are probably scared that, like, what is it, Grayscale or whatever, are going to be dumping a whole lot, and because they've been talking it up, like Larry Fink and that have been talking it up, you kind of go, oh, you just want a higher price to dump.
Man, that guy. So it's like it just adds. I'm talking about the guy who just got mauled by the bull, by the way. That poor dude. I mean, first of all, he deserves whatever he gets. You want to stand in front of a fucking bull. Like, what do you think? You're lucky you got away with your life. That thing could have punctured your body with his horns, and it could have been all over. He's lucky he got away without his pants. Damn it! I mean, that like adds insult to injury, doesn't it? I mean, it's bad enough getting mauled by a bull, but then just like losing your jocks while you're at it. It's like, damn.
Is that in was it Pamplona or something, the running of the bulls in Spain?
What's that?
Is that in is it Pamplona or what's the name of the place?
I assume so, because that's where they do all that stuff, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they didn't do smaller versions of it in other places around. Like it's like, it seems like something that if it's a tradition that they would do it even in, but like what a tradition that is. You want to prove your manliness, go stand in front of a fucking bull. No thanks.
Yeah.
So what's been happening, man?
Well, we had a nice little pump on all the RH stuff in the past week, and now it's all come back down.
It's coming back, but it's not coming back. It's coming back. It came back pretty hard, yeah. But still, the combined total of the two is still
went up so much. So yeah,
it's still like the combined total of the two. And forgive me for like always referring to it as the combined total. I can't help myself. I just have to, add the two together.
Yeah.
Because we were both here before the fork. If you're not here
Yeah.
before the fork, you actually have a choice. You can which hex you want to or you like, or you can just get both. Yeah, if you want. I like both.
Yeah, there was a nice big pump on Ink token. Hey,
let me bring up Dex Screener so we can have a look at some of this stuff. Yeah, Ink has had. But can you explain like what is Ink?
Well, it's just an incentive token. It's like if you put
it's literally called incentive token, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. And look, it's a funny one because you would think it's just it's got dumpermentals, like it's just been given out for free all the time. So what would be the incentive for anyone to buy it? But obviously people are playing it, and if you would have bought a couple of weeks ago and sold on this, you would have, what is it, like 4x your money, 3 or 4x your money or something. So, I mean, if you want to be a trader, then those got to get those games or those gains are there potentially. For me, it's like,
so this is the
like
chart. So if you just looking at it, you're like, oh, it's just, since May 2023, it's just gone down, pretty much down until mid-December. And then in early January, we've just had this epic pump from 42 cents. It got all the way up to almost $4, but that seems like probably no one got their hands on that no one got to, not many people would have got to sell that.
it was around three, like 350 and 380 for a while. So
it got up to $4, and it was around. Yeah, you're right. It got it was for a few hours. It was hovering in that high threes.
Yeah.
But now it has dropped down. It has dumped down pretty hard, down to 175. But still, if you're looking at where it was on the 8th of January at 43 cents, you're still looking at a 4x on that. So you're still.
It's an interesting psychology when something pumps so quickly, so hard, because you know that there's got to have to be a pullback, but your psychology is also like, fuck, what if it just keeps running? I don't want to miss it. Even though that probably only happens once every 4 years or something to any coins, when it doesn't have a pullback. And so it's like, it was an interesting psychological kind of process for me to go through, because I had a little bag of ink and I was holding on to it for a while. I was gonna like sell when the prices got better, and when they started going up, it was like I sold a bit on, you know, not the very top, but I sold a bit pretty high to the top, and then I was
it was in late May. It was $60. I mean, it's important to point that out, that even though it's done a 4x, it's sitting on a 4x in the last 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. It has come down like a lot. It's like it's like over 95% down.
Yeah, you have to remember as well, though, that like
at these prices, it's 95%.
Because it was at the start that it was still all just coming out. So it's not like people would have sold tons at those high levels, because
there just wasn't much of it, because it was it had just, the emissions had just started, so there wasn't much out there, and that's probably why there was so much. It was very scarce, and that's probably why it pumped so hard. But over the period of this, people have been earning it, and I guess progressively selling it as they go, right?
Yeah, well, for a while there, I was just living off it. I was just like earning some, and just, I mean, at those prices, it was just crazy. Like at one stage, I was doing it twice a day. I was just like taking profits.
Yeah. And how do you get that? Like, how do you get I mean, apart from obviously going to a DEX, going to the PulseChain DEX, PulseX.
Yeah, well, it's farming. So you have to be on, all of those farms are on the version 1. So on that version 1, you're not making any of the fees. Like all of those fees from those version 1 pools, they're just going to buy and burn PulseX. And so liquidity providers aren't making any money on those. All they're making money on is the ink token. So you have to be really considerate of how much impermanent loss or whatever you're getting, and whether it's worth it to put it in an LP when the prices are, when ink isn't worth that much.
It's certainly doesn't strike me as a set and forget type of thing. It seems like something you really need to always keep your eye on, and then make moves if there are changes in, I guess, prices and so forth. It's not really something. I mean, I've not played with it, mainly because, I mean, you're probably one of the people who knows my crypto thesis, which is to essentially, especially when you're starting out, like DCAing is like an important thing, and consistently, and just set and forget type thing. I'm not a fan of having to go in and manage a lot of stuff.
Indigo made an interesting point that, like, because with the ink token, its inflation is basically like, it's a halvening every year. So it's still inflating, but that amount of inflation halves each year.
Yep.
But having said that, it's like we actually don't know the rules, because there is a master chef who can adjust everything. So it could be after 5 years' time that master chef adjusts what pools are getting what and how much of it's coming out, and its inflation rate and all that kind of stuff. So everyone assumes that it's like just going to be consistent forever. But
it might
really,
not be. Okay.
That's not in code. No, someone can change it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, look, it's, as I said, it's not something I mess with. It's not in my wheelhouse. However, fair game to anyone, fair play to anyone who wants to play around with it. And as you said, you've sort of lived off this for a little bit. Yeah, fair play to you, mate. That's great. You
Yeah,
are. I mean,
I
look,
also,
if you are
I also,
providing liquidity and you are farming, you're providing liquidity. You're
yeah,
providing a service to the ecosystem.
yeah,
So and this is a way that the ecosystem rewards you, I guess, or gives you an incentive to do that.
yeah.
Hence the name Infinity Token.
And if you compare providing liquidity on Ethereum with providing liquidity on PulseChain, the liquidity providers on PulseChain don't make as much just through the protocols. So you do need these farms to extra incentivize people to provide liquidity.
Yep, of course.
Although what I noticed, what I was researching just the other day was that 9mm, which is I know very little about, but it's a DEX, and they're offering V3 positions. It's a Uniswap V3 fork, so you can
Okay.
set ranges and single-sided liquidity and stuff like that.
Are they?
Um,
They're the first one, aren't they? Are they the first V3
yeah, I think
DEX
so.
on PulseChain?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
That's very
Yeah,
cool. That's
it is
very
very
cool.
cool. They've kind of got some interesting tokenomics as well. I really want to see them I really do a lot of my swaps through Pateus, and I noticed that Pateus haven't included them as like looking for when they're looking for routing, or whatever. So I think that will be
Do you
important
think,
to.
are they working on that? Do you think? Like,
I don't know. I mean, it seems like a pretty legit. Just this is just me looking at the website, looking at someone's made a blog of explaining stuff, looking at their Telegram, just going through the white paper or whatever. It seems like they're pretty legit. I haven't. I had a quick look at the audits, um, and but like do your due diligence. Don't go, like be really careful with all of these, anything that's new like that. And it's interesting because they issued these NFTs, and if like 5,555 of them, Pulse OG NFTs, and if you minted, them, then you get a share of all of this 9mm that's going to be coming out. It's
this
basically a
wasn't this
token that's going
like
to.
this was Tangang stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they're related to Tangang. I'm not sure how. And but it's like it takes 20 months for all of the tokens to come out, and like every month there's an airdrop, and if you minted an NFT, then you get like a share of that airdrop every month. And then if you can buy those NFTs, and if you're holding one of the NFTs, you get an amount as well. And then the rest of it, the distribution goes to people who are actually providing liquidity on or do swaps or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but so but yeah, it seems like they've got some. I mean, it's great to see a Uni V3 because you can set then like a 1% like fee and stuff like that, and you can do that also with FUX. You can set you can make up your own LP and set up a 1% or any fee you like actually. Whereas on like PulseX and 9inch and stuff, you're I think it's like it's much less, like it's a quarter of that.
It's a predefined fee that the
Yeah, and some of it
that's
goes
there.
to Bloomberg, some of it goes to like I think some of it even goes to a no expectations address on PulseX. I think that's still the case. I'm not sure.
I think it's
And
very, very small amount, a very, very small percentage goes there. There's a part that's a buy and burn as well.
yeah, and so you're really kind of like making a lot less than you are with those 1% pools. Like you're making like a fifth of what you would make on those 1% pools.
Yeah.
And so, but it's interesting because with Pateus, like how competitive are those pools going to be? I suppose it'll depend on how much,
Depends on
how much.
liquidity.
Yeah, it depends on liquidity and
So
what slippage.
maybe like depending on liquidity, and then when there's like FOMO, people aren't caring about the fee that they're paying at that point.
Yeah,
When
as
it's
long as,
FOMO, because they
and
just
as long as they're losing on slippage, it's more important to them. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, it's that doesn't happen. I mean, that's sort of the reason why things tend to pump. It's when that sort of feeling happens. You know, there's that I'm going to miss out feeling, and people are all rushing to buy, and they're like, you know, and if you've ever tried to buy in those situations, like your transactions will fail unless you set the slippage at a higher percentage, because
Right.
things are happening so quickly that the price movement, if you don't have slippage in there, the price movement, it will just the DEX will just reject. You just won't get your transaction, and you'll end up paying a fee to miss out, which is the most painful thing in crypto, especially on Ethereum.
Yeah, but on Pulse, the fee is bugger all. Like, you're talking about fractions.
That's why I'm just pointing out, yeah, that has happened on Ethereum to me multiple times, and it's
really?
a very painful lesson to have to learn, especially when you think you've done the right things, and then it fails anyway. But that tends to happen in when there's that fear of missing out type scenario. We, you know, on PulseChain fees are so low that you know, I think it would be a long time before we could, you know, we anticipate seeing anything like that. Now I wanted to talk, just go back and have a look at Bitcoin, actually, because I think that this is such a big deal. What's going on with BTC? Let me just bring up good old Coin Paprika. Remember Coin Paprika?
Yeah, that's what I use now as well.
Well, it's the only one that seems to be like listing. If we go down, we can see that it's got
HEX and Pulse and all that.
it's got PulseChain here, which is a little bit, you know, 16% above SAC, the average SAC, I think, SAC price. And we've got HEX on PulseChain, which has had like a 20%, you know, retraction in the last 7 days. And then a bit further down, I believe we've got Wrapped Pulse. We've got PulseX, and we've got Ethereum HEX here. But I wanted to have a look at Bitcoin. I wanted to just see what's going on with that, the chart in the last however long. Let's have a look. This is year to date. Let's go back 1 year. Let me go back 1 quarter. Yeah. So yeah, we got up to around what did we get up to? About $47,000, and that was, you know, early January, and around maybe a week and a half ago.
The ETF and like announcement.
Two weeks ago, yeah, 2 weeks ago, and then since that 2 weeks, it's just broken down slowly, and then in the last 24 hours, we've just seen it slide. Not even in the last 12 hours, we've just seen it slide from 41.5 down to where it's at the moment, 30, just under $39,000. So that's quite a dip for Bitcoin. We're not used to seeing such a big dip. But I did want to play one little video that I saw, and it was a video. It's just it's like a DCA video comparing cash to Bitcoin since 2014. So let me just bring that up. I think everyone in crypto can appreciate just the power of DCAing. So if anyone's watching who, you know, is not sure how to go about, if you're looking to buy into crypto, right? And you're not sure how or how to go about it, whether you just go in one big go or not. It's hard to know. And that's the difficulty. It's really hard to know how to go into crypto, like how to put the money in, when to put it in. I mean, I put it in at the top in 2017.
I think that's how most people. When people first get into crypto, like even if I give them the whole DCA talk, they always end up fucking just going all in, whatever, whenever they're ready, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know what this video shows is just $100 DCA every month. So I'll just play this. So that's in the 2017, 18 bull got up to at DCA was worth in the 2021 bull, it was over 500 grand. You not here? Is that too high, was it?
So what's that comparing? Bitcoin, gold, and savings? What?
Hang on. Let me just let me do that again. Yeah, that's comparing savings with Bitcoin and gold. So I worked out how much this ended up being as far as $1 input, and it was just under 11,000 US dollars of DCA. And as of I worked out some stuff as of, so that it was 10,800 DCA dollars, and as of tonight, that DCA would be worth $361,000 for BTC. So, and that got me thinking. It's like I'm going to do this $100 DCA for HEX since it launched in 2019. So, bear in mind there's a 5-year differential between when BTC started, this DCA for BTC started, and when this DCA, that this on paper DCA happened for HEX. So what I did is I went to hexstats.today and downloaded the CSV files and went in and just worked out what it was for $100 a month. And then what I did is when the fork happened, I split the DCA to $50 for each chain. So that's probably,
that's without staking as well, hey?
This is without staking, yeah. So what it came out to is that over the course of that time since it launched in 2019, December 2019, it's $5,000, exactly $5,000 DCA for HEX. And as of tonight, as of right now, with the price being, well, just before the stream, I updated the spreadsheet. So the price was 0.8 of a cent on EHEX and 0.1538 of a cent. No, sorry. 1.538 of a cent on PulseChain HEX. And I was just, it was just a little bit over $60,000 worth of DCA.
Oh, wow.
From,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is that I did a couple of other little things that for BTC, if BTC was at all-time highs of 69,000, that DCA would be equivalent to $638,000 or $639,000. For that your HEX DCA to be at an equivalent to that all-time high, it would have to be at the current ratio between the two, it would be 8.4 cents Ethereum HEX and 16.26 cents Pulse HEX. Now, at HEX's all-time high, and that at those two prices, the DCA would be $639,000, which is exactly the same as the BTC all-time high at $69,000. Now, if HEX was at its all-time high, that DCA, when if HEX was its all-time high, which would be a DCA or a price of 19 cents for EHEX and 36 cents for PulseHex, that would be worth $1.45 million. And that's none of that's with staking, by the way. So it's interesting.
The only problem with putting in $100 a month is that you're going to get, how much is eaten by fees?
Well, so that was the thing. It's I'm not going to say DCA into both. I don't know what's best for people. With this, it's tough with transactions on Ethereum. However, if you're not swapping on the Ethereum network, PulseChain has very low fees, so you can buy bridged EHEX on PulseChain.
But you're probably better off. You're probably better. Like, let's say you wanted a DCA, but you didn't want to be eaten by fees, and you wanted to go into HEX on PulseChain. Like, you're probably better off just putting it all in and staking the HEX, or setting up a ladder, than DCAing in, especially at these prices.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, mate. But the whole thing about DCA is right now you're assuming someone has a big chunk of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, and that's not always the case. If you do, then just look at the charts and you'll need to make a judgment call what you think is best. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm certainly not someone who's able to give advice on these things. I just pulled out the spreadsheet and started playing around. But you can, if you are DCAing because you're earning income and you have some disposable income on a monthly basis, and you're like, oh, I can put in $100. It's just, this whole thing came about because I saw this little clip, and I'm just like, this started in 2014, and HEX did so well. When I did this thing with HEX, when you look at it, it's like it did so well in the course of not even 5 years.
Yeah.
So a good option if you are DCAing is you can get the HEX, Ethereum HEX that's been bridged over to PulseChain, and you can buy that on PulseChain, and the fees are like PulseChain fees, which is basically nothing, like less than a cent to swap, and a few cents to swap maybe. So they're the options, and then there are other options as well. There's the I think Dipcatcher and Gold Key created a combined
The
hex
checks.
checks, and that's like it's a token which is backed by a hex from each chain. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm really don't know how that one works. I'm not sure if that's just on PulseChain.
Well, I imagine it would just be on PulseChain.
And what would it do? Does it lock? Does it put lock a couple of those in a contract and
issue
issue a
Yeah.
redemption token?
I guess so. I'm not sure what there must be some sort of incentive for people to put their both hexes into that, I would assume. But I don't know
Yeah, there
enough about it.
probably is. They've got all sorts of stuff going on in their ecosystem. I'm a big fan of what those guys have added to our ecosystem over the last couple of years. They really have done.
They're like Gold Key is pumping it on Twitter all the time. Okay? And Dipcatcher.
Yeah, they've
Like
just
information.
and people on this channel know that I love that. I love the perpetuals that they created, which essentially was a pooled stake, and they issued redemption tokens for a percentage of the stake. So I think the way it worked for memory was you submit hex to the contract, and then it gave you back these tokens, which were redemption tokens, and they are worth a percentage of the stake pool, which you can redeem at the end. But they also are freely tradable on the market. And the reason I'm a fan of them is that for it's sort of strange, and I'll bring up this website, but I find it. I mean, it's the way markets work, I guess, but I find it interesting that they trade. Some of them trade at a discount. So, for example, Ethereum, EDESI, which is one of it represents a 10-year stake. That is currently, when you compare it against what that stake has accrued, but like its principal with what it's accrued in yield so far, it's at a 24.74% discount. And on PulseChain, it's at a 34% discount. So, I mean, essentially what that means is that you're getting discounted T-shares. That's essentially what it means. You're getting discounted T-shares, because if you were going to go take your HEX and then go stake it, you would get less T-shares than if you just swapped your HEX for those tokens. However, the difference is when you're buying that token, there already is a stake in place. And if you want to see the stake out, then you just have to hold those tokens and end stake within the predefined period of time. Like whenever that stake ends, you have to do there's some sort of process you have to go through. Like I think you just have to run a function or something to redeem your principal and yield from that stake.
Yeah, and it's going to be nowhere near like an end, like
essentially
like
free. It's essentially going to be a free, like compared to like hundreds of dollars to end stake on. Hang on, I could be wrong with that, by the way. I'm not sure. You don't personally have to end stake it. It gets end staked by the community. Someone in the community could end stake it, but don't you still have to redeem?
Yeah, but I don't think that costs much.
And then they just roll over if you don't.
Yeah.
If you don't end it, it will roll over for another period of time. So that DESI one, you probably don't want to let that one roll over so much, hey, because that's another 10 years.
Yeah, and it might be at a massive discount if you're trying to sell the actual DESI token. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always find those tokens interesting. I think that's discount T-shares. There's a lot of anti-staking sentiment out there. You know, I understand, like, from afar, staking for those periods of time in crypto seems ludicrous. When you, I mean, I can understand it, right? I really can understand it. Mind you, people like you and I were staking, you know, for 10 to 15 years in the first year of
Yeah.
of the contract. So it's like 4 or 5, almost, you know, coming up on 5 years in December will have passed since the contract launched. So it's already like 5 years into like a 10-year stake for some people at the end of this year. So that's pretty insane. It's amazing that so much time has passed. It doesn't seem like so much time has passed.
No. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be crazy when the 15-year ones come up. There's going to be so much HEX coming out. But, yeah, who knows what the whole ecosystem will look like by then.
So Alex, a few months ago, like last year, he was talking about version 2 of Hedron.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I saw a tweet from someone today.
Vince, I think.
Someone was talking about, like, you better go
On gold kills.
You better go mint all your Hedron. Claim all your Hedron.
No, don't do that necessarily. Wait until you get more information. Like, but the latest thing is what he's been considering is, because you know how we all got all the people who kind of claimed the bonuses in the first, what was it, 2 weeks or whatever. They get 10x bonuses, or it went down to 9x, 8x, 7x, blah blah blah. But I think he's thinking about, in the new contract, those bonuses, like if you mint on one of them, then it goes down to like a 9x. So he just wants to incentivize those people with those big bonuses not to just, they don't just retain the 10x bonuses the whole time. Like if they mint on a stake, that's their 10x. And the next time they mint, it goes down to a 9x. And the next time they mint, it goes down to an 8x. Just to have a little less inflation of Hedron to the OGs who are really.
And what would happen if people didn't want to? They don't have to upgrade it, but what would happen essentially to those old Hedron things? They're probably going to get left behind, aren't they?
I can't remember.
See, my gut, and I'm saying this as someone who has claimed 10x, so perhaps there's some sort of bias underlying all of this, but my gut tells me, and this is just a gut feeling that I get, that you don't mess with that.
There's tokenomics. But it's going to be anyway, because like it's changing the nature of Hedron, because you're going to be able to use them on both chains, and there's a few other things like this, the longest stake bonuses didn't work in the last contract, so that's going to be fixed. So there's going to be a few other things that that it is going to be different tokenomics, and a whole, like, because you're going to be able to take one Hedron and stake it on the other chain, I think. So, like, they're going to be interoperable, those two, like the Ethereum and the Pulse Hedron and ICOSA. So, but like, let's just wait until he comes out with more. I'd love to have him on, but I don't think there's any point to having him on until he's got a test net up, really. or he's just about to do a test net, and he, you know, it's ready for people to go and play with. And I have no idea. Like, he wanted to have the test net by Q1 of, I think he wanted to have it by the end of the year, or he wanted to have it by at least Q1 of this year, which is now, in the next, you know, couple of months. So hopefully it comes out, but I think it's very ambitious what he's doing as well. And, you know, because it's all of these extra contracts, there is all of that contract risk, and yeah, so let's just wait to hear more from him.
Do you remember there was a tweet he did, and there was some things that you had to upgrade immediately, like you had a month or two to upgrade them, and there were some things that could be upgraded whenever you just got around to it. And I'm not sure which ones are which. It could be the HSIs were upgradable whenever you got around to it, but like the actual Hedron itself needed to be upgraded within. But I have to say that in itself, I don't like that sort of stuff, man.
Yeah, people
I
who
don't
do the
like it,
do the
dude.
set and forget are gonna lose out. Hey,
I just don't like it when, if you're not like paying attention at a certain period of time,
yeah,
you miss out. And you might say, well, you know, that's the way it is. That's, you know, all's fair in the crypto sphere. Maybe.
well, you're not losing those tokens. It's just that.
But if
They
you
probably
can't
won't have-
upgrade them, but if you
Yeah.
can't upgrade them anymore, so maybe you should still be able to upgrade them, but maybe after a period of time, maybe you only get 80% of them, you know, of the liquid balance. So let's say you have, you know, 1 billion Hedron sitting in a wallet, and you go to, you know, you're not around. Let's say, for argument's sake, you're in jail when that period of time is, when the upgrade and the deadline passes, and then you find out about it 6 months later. You could still upgrade your tokens, but you get like the new tokens are minted at a 20% reduced amount, or something along those lines. I feel like that is a fairer way to do it, because then that person doesn't feel scammed.
Well, they're not. No one's really scammed. I mean, no one's really scammed because it's all bonus, really.
Not if you. No, not if there's social consensus that everyone's going to the new system.
But what I'm saying is, the Hedron token is all like, if you have a HEX stake, you get this Hedron token for free. So it's all bonus, really.
Yeah, it's all bonus, but people have spent gas to mint things, right? And they've participated under a set of rules, and just because they're not paying attention at a particular time, or for whatever reason, they could be in a coma, they might be in jail, for whatever reason, man. Whatever reason. I'm pulling out extreme, you know, scenario.
Yeah.
But let's just say that you're just not paying attention. You should still be able to participate, and you would feel pretty slighted if the whole community, apart from a small, and that's probably going to be better for those who did move over, because all of those tokens, if they can't get moved over or upgraded, then they get lost basically. And all the social consensus would be on the upgraded ones. So yeah. So that's my thoughts. My thoughts is, okay, you want to penalize people who don't upgrade within a certain period of time. I think that's fair, but like not completely, not to the point where they're just out, I just don't think it's that fair, personally. And there's an argument to say that no one should be penalized anything for upgrading whenever they want, you know, that's if you want to strike some sort of happy medium, maybe that's how you do that.
Yeah, the thing that I'm more interested in is like, you know how like ICOSA and Hedron have like caps, like ceilings. They're going to be more kind of movable, those ceilings, depending on like the prices, depending on the ratio of HEX to ICOSA and stuff. So it's adding a lot of game theory to it, I think. Yeah, I don't know. When I first heard about it, I thought, well, you're making it more complicated. But it's like, it's all experimentation. And I mean, it shows you just what a speculative area we're in, you know? Like,
It would be nice if that, like, the idea is that you bridge over your Ethereum Hedron over to PulseChain and somehow lock them together, and they become one for one. They
will be.
They will be. Has that been established?
Well, I mean, the markets will do what the markets will do, but they'll be interoperable. So you'll be able to. So if let's say it's really cheap on Ethereum Hedron, you can grab it there, go over to PulseChain, and bid using Hedron for a HEX stake.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think
and that's going to be a cheaper way to bid, because bidding on Ethereum was just, oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember, he was going to upgrade like all the bidding, the process, so that it's just not as, you know, it's not
a bit as well.
It was a bit difficult. Like every time like someone outbid you, you'd have to go in and do another transaction or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, well, I mean, look, it sounds like they're improvements to the protocol, but you want to get social consensus to upgrade. And I think the way to get social consensus is not to leave anyone behind, because people will feel slighted if they somehow get left behind because they're locked out of upgrading due to a time constraint.
I mean, it's not as though they've lost any money though. It's just that they've lost.
They would have lost. They definitely would have, if they're sitting on, like, so Hedron has a value right now. That original Hedron contract has a value on PulseChain, on Ethereum. Now, if you for whatever reason are unable to upgrade it, and then once it's upgraded, all the social consensus goes over to the upgraded versions of those tokens. From that point onwards, those original tokens are probably going to lose a lot of value, because no one's going to be looking to buy them anymore.
Yeah.
They'll probably.
Look, I understand your point, but by the same token, as long as you didn't buy that Hedron, as long as if you're just minting it, then really your only expense is a very small amount of gas that you would have spent. And
assuming it was a small amount of gas, man, it might not have been.
Yeah,
could
but if you're going to spend
gas
on minting Hedron, you might as well just buy the Hedron.
Depends on, yeah.
It's not an ideal situation, but by the same token, Hedron and ICOSA really got smashed because of the fork. And because, or maybe it's also because the HEX price went down so much, I don't know. But all of a sudden, like the whole Hedron and ICOSA were really, all of a sudden, not going to be worth much at all. And then everyone started, for whatever reason, we really got, Hedron and ICOSA got smashed because of the fork. So he wants to find a way to bring it back, but also, you know, like, he's doing something incredibly novel that's never been done on any blockchain. So, I mean, and that's Alex, you know what I mean? He's an innovator. So, you know, like,
absolutely.
He's always doing interesting stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's his mind. and that's what he finds interesting and fun, and like, and so we're at the cutting edge of all of this stuff. So you have to say to yourself, it's highly, like we're on the fucking high end of the speculative of the high end of the speculative of the high end of the speculative. You know what I mean?
This is what you know. What
then it's the HEX. Then it's like the Hedron and Acosta of the HEX.
What you're saying actually does make a lot of sense. It's like no one can truly be upset with such speculative things. I don't know. I mean, on one hand, yeah, I really do see your point. Like look, it is what it is. It's this speculative ecosystem. Things can change. It's going to be social consensus, all of this. And then there's a part of me that also thinks, but people have also put a lot of faith and gone out and purchased tokens, and you just want to also just be mindful that people getting left behind is not a good look.
Sure.
In general, but hey, like people are saying in the chat, Hex Hodl is saying Alex is a smart guy. He is. Yeah, let's see what he comes up with, though. Let's see what he comes up with. I have faith in him. I think he would have seen, he's seen what has unfolded, and
well, the reason he did this, the reason that he decided to do this was because he was getting a lot of messages from people who assumed that they'd be able to use their Hedron or Acosta on both chains, and didn't understand why they couldn't. So I think the reason he's doing it is to make it simpler. But having known all the backstory to it, it's like it does seem complex because it's got a whole history. But hopefully it gets to a point where the user just has this stuff and can just use it and interact with it easily. The complexity is really in all the background and underlying kind of stuff.
Well, I assume that the upgrades are going to make it simpler. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to upgrade.
Yeah,
that's my assumption. You know, if you could just like work it out with what's there now, you would do that. But if you can't, you upgrade. You go for this upgrade, and it simplifies things for everyone. Doesn't matter. It sort of makes sense. It doesn't matter, where you are, which side you're on. But look, all of this stuff, what's pretty amazing about what we've spoken about tonight, apart from the ink stuff, is like everything is pretty much built on top of HEX, the HEX contract. That is it's the basis of everything, like whether it be the perpetuals, the maxi, deci, lucky, trio, whether it be HSIs, and that's why I did see a tweet from someone who said it might be a good idea to go and mint your Hedron. I think I'm not sure if you're still there, Bluey, but you look like your video has paused. But yes, let me bring up. I was gonna bring up this this video, which was from the World Economic Forum. So let me bring this up right now. Play this. Hopefully Bluey will come back.
it's laughable that you would, or anyone would describe Davos as protecting liberal democracy. It's equally,
standing up for it.
It's equally laughable to use the word dictatorship at Davos and aim that at President Trump. In fact, I think that's absurd. But I'm going to step aside from that constructive criticism and instead answer your question.
Yep.
And I'm going to be substantive here. President Trump, if he's the next president, for that matter, I think whoever the next conservative president is going to take on the power of the elites, which I mentioned earlier. But the thing that I want to drive home here, the very reason that I'm here at Davos, is to explain to many people in this room and who are watching, with all due respect, nothing personal, but that you're part of the problem. Political elites tell the average people on 3 or 4 or 5 issues that the reality is X, when in fact reality is Y. Take immigration. Elites tell us that open borders and even illegal immigration are okay. The average person tells us in the United States that both rob them of the American way of life. They're right. I guess the favorite at the World Economic Forum is climate change. Elites tell us that we have this existential crisis with so-called climate change, so much so that climate alarmism is probably the greatest cause for mental health crisis in the world. The solutions, the average person know, based on climate change are far worse and more harmful and cost more human lives, especially in Europe during the time that you need heating, than do the problem and the problems themselves. China, the #1 adversary, not just to the United States, but to free people on planet Earth. Not only do we at Davos not say that, we give the Chinese Communist Party a platform. Another supranational organization, the World Health Organization, is discussing foisting gender ideology upon the global South. These are practices that are under review, if not being rejected, by countries in Northern Europe. The new president, especially if it's President Trump, will, as you like to say, trust the science. He will understand the basic biological reality of manhood and womanhood. And do you know why? Not because of retribution, not because he's a dictator, but because he has the power of the American people behind him.
I don't know what it is about these clips. There was also, like, there's something about these clips. I love listening to them. There was the president of Argentina who had a 22-minute long speech at the World Economic Forum. I recommend everyone go and listen to that. Amazing speech, something that, you know, everyone should listen to, especially if you're on the left in Australia. Go listen to it. You know, look, we probably don't have that many people who listen to this stream who are on the left. I mean, a lot of people in crypto like the idea of self-sovereignty. So, you know, collectivism or socialism isn't really what we lean towards. But go check out that 22-minute video. You'll find it on YouTube. It is not something that you hear. Not something you hear every day. Now, I had some other stuff. Guys, tell me, are there any questions you guys have in the chat? I can see a few people in here. Good to have you here. I can see a few regulars. Ask some questions, man. Is there anything happening in the community that I don't know about? Anything spicy going on? I know that there's always some drama. There's always some drama. I try and stay well away from the drama. It's not something I particularly like being part of. Let me see. We got. G'day, buddy. You're back.
Back, yeah. I was just trying to refresh, but that wasn't working. And then I went and got the link from whatchamacallit, that worked. So yeah, Javier Milei's speech was pretty interesting. At
It was
Davos.
amazing. It was an amazing
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, isn't he? I just wonder though, like, why is he against crypto? I get the feeling he's he's still on the side of the central banks and stuff, and they're going to adopt. He wants to adopt the US dollar as their reserve currency in Argentina. I'm just like, why on earth would he be jumping on that ship right now?
Is he against crypto, or is he? When you say he's against crypto, is he against
Actually,
crypto?
I'm not sure if he's against crypto, but I just know that he's
they're not jumping into BTC as legal tender, right? They're not not doing what El Salvador is doing.
What they're doing is they want to make the US dollar their reserve currency. So they've got the peso at the moment,
but that's a good idea, considering the situation they're in. No, because the issue for them is that if they have to manage it themselves, it's going to be it's just going to be like a mess. It's going to continue to be a mess.
But they're kind of giving up their sovereignty by doing that.
And that's going to force them to make some I guess difficult choices that need to be made. Look, man, I agree. Why not make BTC legal tender? Maybe that's something that they're going to slowly move towards. But their fiat is absolute rubbish. So they're going to need some fiat if they want to. They're going to need something to trade with the rest of the world. What's that going to be?
Well, it's US dollar.
The best option for now is probably
also,
US dollar.
Yeah, but also he went out of BRICS, which I think is probably a dumb move on Argentina's behalf. Like, why make a choice now? Like, if I was Argentina, I'd be like, yeah, we'll have both. We'll use both. Like, why would you cut yourself off from like one system over another?
They might be in such a bad way that they're just hitching their boat to the US.
Yeah, but that's the dumbest move right now. Like, come on. Like, I mean, the US dollar is maybe it's the cleanest, dirtiest shirt or whatever but like the BRICS people are getting organized, man, and that's like going to take even more power away from the US dollar. I don't know why you'd be wanting to hitch yourself onto this thing where people are just inflating it away at record levels.
Maybe it's an ideological thing. Maybe he's just, I want to be with the countries that believe in the same things that we believe in, or I believe in, which is freedom.
Like I understand that, but like in a lot of ways, when you're talking about socialism and communism or collectivism, America is way more collectivist than Russia in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, yep. I think, look, dude, ultimately the US are, they've got their constitution, which gives individuals rights. But look, by the way, have you followed any of this border stuff that's going on in the US?
Nuts. It's like it's crazy.
It's crazy what's going on. It's absolutely crazy what is, and it's interesting how, like, what's actually going on at the moment with Texas. Texas want to protect their border,
and they're allowed to.
And the federal government are going in and removing their barbed wire fencing.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like America's going to head towards a civil war, or some states breaking away, or something. Like, something's got to break at some point. If Biden gets in again, like if they if they manage to not let Trump in again, and it's Biden or Kamala Harris or fucking Michelle Obama or something, there's going to be a civil war, I reckon.
It seems like of all the states, Texas seems like the one that if they wanted to leave, they probably could.
Yeah.
And would it be a war? Do you think there'd be a civil war?
Well, if I mean, like, let's say, look at this border situation. You've got all of these illegals flooding in through Texas. Texas want to stop them coming in. The feds come and say, no, you can't. Does it get to the point where there's like a federal army is against a Texan militia or something? Or like, I don't know. I mean, it seems so out of reality that Americans would start fighting each other. But by the same token, like, if the feds are just getting so ridiculous in what they're doing and so detrimental to people's lives, like, at some point people will break and they'll organize.
I thought it's called the United States, right? So,
yeah.
But I always thought that the states had some power to defend themselves. And
Well, they have the right to do it. Yeah.
What's odd is that they're not allowed to put up fences to stop people coming into this. That's so weird. That's so strange that they're not allowed. That when I say they're not allowed, they believe they're allowed. They're right. You know, their state rights are being infringed upon, right, by the federal government. But it's so strange. It's something I've never.
A really crazy idea that the Democrats have, that they think they can flood the country with illegal immigrants, and because those illegal immigrants are going to vote for them. Like, it's just like,
is that the strategy? Like
I think that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, really?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they need voters.
We live in such interesting times, man. Things are so strange. They're so strange. And things are going so fast as well. Like, I listened to a couple of things. I saw a couple of things on Twitter today, and it's like, this happened 2 weeks ago, and now it's like totally disappeared. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago that there was some, I don't know, something like to do with the Senate, like some gay stuff happened in the Senate, like a video or something.
Oh yeah, there was a guy having gay sex in the Senate or something. Yeah, it was caught.
And then it's like that popped up today. I'm like, oh yeah, it feels like 6 months ago, but I know it was like 2 weeks ago. But things have just been super strange. And it's just continually, and I'm just wondering, are we like getting close? Because I don't remember any of this sort of state stuff happening to this level in the US ever before.
I think they have a long history of states' rights versus the federalism.
It's bizarre, man.
It's so bizarre. But I don't know.
Do you know California are about to put in a wealth tax? Did you hear that?
Oh yeah. No.
Like a really big wealth tax they're about to put in. I've actually got a video on it. Let me play.
Insane reason living in the state of California, it may be time to leave. The California legislature is currently taking up their latest bit of suicidal lunacy, a wealth tax. It would impose an annual tax of 1% on the worldwide wealth of anybody over $50 million in assets and 1.5% on billionaires. The billionaires tax would kick in next year, while the millionaires get a 1-year stay. The bill would also pay private attorneys to sue affluent Californians for allegedly underreporting assets, giving them a share of the taxes. So imagine the joy of random lawyers showing up to sue you over the cost basis of your home renovations. Part-time residents would be taxed pro rata for every day they are physically in the state of California. And no, fleeing the state will not work. California will chase you down even after you leave for that final hunk you can check out, but you can never leave. So why are they doing this? Partly because California voters are consumed with rage and envy that there are people who build things instead of stealing wealth and trading it for votes, but mostly because the state of California has spent itself into an abyss with a $68 billion budget hole. Note that's not including the coming migrant crisis. To give a flavor, the state just announced free healthcare for all illegal migrants, meaning all 6.7 billion people on Earth, including free gender reassignment at taxpayer expense for every drag queen in Guatemala. That kind of virtue does not pay for itself. Now, 1.5% tax does not sound like very much, but remember, this is taxing the entire amount. So in practice, rich people grow their money about 5% per year. You can track that over on the Forbes 500. In other words, 1.5% is equivalent to confiscating almost a third of their money. It's 30% of their annual returns. That means in California, you get to pay a top rate of 51% when you earn it. That includes California's new 14% income tax. And then you effectively hand over 30% of your gains each and every year. You keep the pocket change. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. California's wealth tax is not a done deal. It still has to pass and it will be litigated. But keep in mind, they already do effectively wealth tax your house, known as property tax. So I think there's a good chance it would stand. More important, going by the history of the income tax, they will start with the millionaires and very quickly climb down to the middle class. After all, the federal income tax itself originally applied only to the top 1% of taxpayers who paid 7% top rate. Within 5 years, it hit a 73% top rate. And today, almost 2/3 of Americans pay income tax. And so, most likely, what comes next is a giant exodus of affluent Californians taking their businesses and their tax base with them to Florida or Texas. Meanwhile, to the extent California serves as a model for other progressive states like New York or Illinois, we could see more of these tax grabs on the way. After all, the progressive mantra is make it hard to succeed, easy to fail, because people in distress are the most obedient voters. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Big oof.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's something like, dude, I'm not a massive fan of just indiscriminate taxes, but there's something like particularly unfair about taxing a value as opposed to an income. It's like particularly something that's particularly unfair about it.
Yeah, because you're not having. It's like with crypto, like it can go really high up, and then you tax at that amount, and then it goes really go down, and then how are you meant to pay it?
Well, this is sort of even worse because you don't have to earn anything. You wouldn't have to earn anything. It's just based on the value. So just imagine every year your crypto portfolio was assessed. Like, what's the value on the 30th of June or the 31st of December, whenever the tax year ends, and they get a value, and they're like, okay, you need to pay 1.5% tax on that. So if it's 100,000, you haven't done anything, by the way. You haven't like sold anything. You haven't done anything. You're just sitting on, let's say, $100,000. It'd be $1,500. And then if you've done anything, and that would be on top of if you've actually sold and taken profits of anything. Seems like it just seems silly. It's how like a land tax works in Australia as well. State land tax. They assess the value of a property, and then you're taxed, over a certain amount. That is scaled, though. It's not just a flat And this would be as well. This would be, you know, for people, billionaires, 1.5% for billionaires. I'm not here to try and defend, you know, save billionaires tax money. That's not what I'm about, but there's just something that seems unfair about it to me as a general rule.
Yeah.
And we know how much people love us talking about tax. I found this video here. This one's pretty funny.
So I identify as trans financial, which means that I am a rich girl stuck in a broke girl's body, and that is one of the hardest things that I have to deal with in life. Hardest.
I think we're all, mate. I think we're all feeling a bit trans financial in the last couple of years. So, man, is there anything that's been going on that you know, you wanted to chat about? What have you seen? Have you been paying much attention?
I mean, we talked about ink. We talked, like, it was interesting that everything pumped while Bitcoin was going down, like in the RH ecosystem. Yeah, I kind of, you know how we were discussing beat and sweet a little bit
yes.
last week?
Yes.
I think, and you said there was some, you and Sammy were saying there was some controversy or something. I think what happened was,
Yep.
there was some guy who said he couldn't take out his sweet from the thing, but there was he didn't offer any evidence. And I think that it was actually him and a number of other people who would, there's a few tweets and messages from the Beetroot guys were saying, stop it, we know who you are. And we'll release the information if you don't, like, stop trying to scam us and trying to, and then they went, other people went quiet. So I think there was some weird shenanigans going on there, but I've always managed to take out my sweet fine. It works brilliantly. I haven't been able to, like, find out their exact method of how they anonymize, like, but it seems to work, is all I can say. And they won't come on to streams because they want to be anonymous. And it looks like, and they are coming out with a whole lot of different stuff for the suite. Like, for people who don't know, Beat is like the token, which is kind of a reflection token. There's a 2% tax on any transaction, and a whole lot of Beat gets burnt, and some of it gets given to people who are just holders. And then you can, like, put either Pulse or PulseX or Beat or HEX or Ink or Sweet into, like, you can stake it, and that's to encourage, like, a big anonymity set, and you get rewarded in Sweet. And what they're planning to do now is they're launching a whole kind of, like, games, this and that kind of thing that everyone uses Sweet for. So I don't think they're doing a massive, like, so it's an ecosystem that I'm kind of interested in, and it's been working well. I really like having anonymity, like privacy, so that, you know, like, if I want to just give some Pulse to someone, I can just do it and they can't see the rest of my wallets. And it allows me to open up new wallets and to do stuff from as well, with that, you know, that haven't got any, that have got completely private. So the sweet that I've been earning isn't really worth very much. Like, if I would have been over on PulseX getting ink, I would have made a lot more. But also then the ratios would have changed. Like it's nice that it's a single-sided, like you just put the thing in and you earn sweet. And so that sweet is not worth much now, but maybe once they launch this gaming platform, the sweet will start being worth more or something. I'm not sure. It's still early days with it. And yeah, so I can't report too much. I really like to say exactly how they do their privacy, or the anonymity, but I can't.
Yep. It's a black box, so to speak.
Well, no, the contracts are all there. Like you can go look at how they do it if you knew how to read contracts and you understood exactly what they were doing. But I haven't got anyone to be able to explain it to me.
There's no one to talk to about. There was a stream. Corey Costa did a stream about
with
Beetroot in the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
And they were talking about it. I'm not sure into how much detail they went about the actual protocol of how things are anonymized. But yeah, yep. So obviously, I mean, they've been audited, these contracts, right?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I'm not sure. They might not be. They might have said something like, I can't remember. I think they're really got a lot of confidence in their dev. I think he's a bit of a superstar from what that sounds like.
Do they, like, are there limits on amounts, or
I'm not sure.
is it just Ethereum, or it's PulseChain though?
No,
Sorry,
it's just PulseChain.
it's PulseChain. So it's all it's Pulse, right? Or is there or wrapped Pulse?
You can stake Pulse. You can stake Pulse, PulseX, Ink, Hex, Beat, or Sweet.
And that all gets anonymized if you stake it.
Yeah, you can say what address to send it to, and the deployer automatically sends it. And the way that it works is when you go to their website, you sign in for 24 hours. And in that 24 hours, you can do things like claim your suite, and you can send stuff to something else or whatever. And then once the 24 hours finishes, you have to re-sign in for those 24 hours. And you pay for the transactions just from Pulse that you have staked.
Oh, it comes out of that.
Yeah.
That's helpful because, and you don't have to withdraw the full amount?
No, you can, no. And in fact, they suggest not withdrawing the full amount.
And can you join, does it allow you to join things from multiple addresses, or I guess you could, you just send them to
send to any address you want.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
And it doesn't come up on chain like on the Explorer. So it must be done through the deployer. Like maybe I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it works. It seems to work. I mean, my guess is that, I mean, obviously they're going to take a bit of let's say they're not going to get a lot of immediate attraction because there's a few questions like I have, but they're kind of saying to themselves, well, we're just going to keep doing it, and over time you'll see that it works, and so then over time you can just, people will use it or not use it,
Yep. Yeah.
Also, Randolph says Beetroot has been audited. Have you actually read the audit, Randolph? Because maybe I'll have to have more of a deep dive onto. I really wanted them to come on, but they They're not into speaking publicly. There's another guy. Fast Abdul wanted to come on. He messaged me a few days ago.
Who's that?
He's doing Fast Abdul. He's been in the like he's a hexagon for quite a while. He's been kicking around and he's in a few chats that I'm in and stuff. And they're launching 2fucks, where they're basically, and they've got a SAC thing happening at the moment. And they're people are going to pull their fucks tokens in order to be able to vote on certain pools, but also you'll be able to. There's a whole lot of stuff with that. Remember, we should probably have him on, maybe on Not Hex show or something like that, to discuss that stuff.
Yeah, dude, happy to do that. We haven't done Not Hex, the Not Hex show for a while.
Yeah.
Have we? Yeah, happy to do that, man. If you want to tee it up, we just have to work out a time and working out the time difference. Is it morning there for you, or what is it there?
No, it's 4 o'clock. Everyone will work out where I am now, but it's 4 p.m. Not that I'm hiding where I am, but yeah, 4 p.m. where I am now. So what time is it with you?
It's 11. It's 11 p.m. where I am.
So I'm 7 hours behind you.
Yeah, that's not too bad. So I think it'd probably need to be like a morning, like you in the morning.
Yeah, I think actually just with like Randolph, I think that all of those audits, I did look at those that was for the beetroot protocols, but the sweet stuff is a whole new kind of thing, and I haven't found the audits for the sweet contracts and all the things they're doing with that. So what did you say, 43?
What did I say? I don't know. Wasn't important.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
I started reading something else.
Yeah.
Dude, have you like paid attention to any drama going on? There's always drama. That was one of your words.
No, sometimes I see these tweets when people are saying, "Oh, why do hexagons have all this drama?" Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I have no idea what the fuck. I have no idea what the latest drama is. It seems very non-dramery. Like, what is there something interesting happening at the moment?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. Occasionally, in passing, I'll see like a few tweets, and I might start reading, and then I'm just like, what am I wasting my time? Why am I even reading this? And then I just lose interest straight away. Just not interested in any of that. Like, I'm just not interested in it, man. It just doesn't.
It's got to get. We've been through so much of this drama. You've got to up your drama game, guys. You've got to have a bit of a better. We need new seasons, new episodes. We need new narratives. Just the OGs are selling or something like that. What? Is that it?
Hang on. People are selling their crypto? No.
Yeah.
Like, really? What did people think was going to happen? It's like, man, I just it's sort of silly, but maybe it's what keeps some people engaged, you know?
Oh, no doubt. The drama is great for engagement. Like,
it does look very infantile, though.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
You know, dude, there is a part of me that doesn't.
UFC fighters like speaking shit to each other, but it's fun. You know what I mean? It's like it's what you It's the
There's
theater of it.
part of me that just can't believe like just how infantile some of it gets sometimes. And I can't help but think that it's like sort of real. It's just like people who are engaging in it know, they know that it's going to get attention, and it's about getting attention because it's happening on Twitter, or it's like, how much of this shit goes down in Telegram room? Probably a lot goes down in Telegram rooms, but I don't spend much time in them. But a lot of it seems to go down in the public forums, and people get upset, and things are tweeted, and it's just like,
And
it's hilarious.
like someone's tattoo, and then they do a close up of the tattoo, and that really means that they're a Satanist or something. It's just shit like that.
What?
Well, there was some. I think that was pretty.
Is this real?
I think that was one of the dramas. That's actually now in the last last week or whatever it is, because like I can't. But I think HVid. I don't know why they're all fighting. I don't know why, but then Freddie calls out her as implying that she's a Satanist or something like that. Or it's just funny. It's like,
man, it's hey, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to. I'm just, yeah. It's one of those things. You want to know, but you don't want to know. It's like I don't. Yeah, I sort of don't want to know. You know what I mean? Like there's just
these like it's like there was this that like someone there's a picture of someone, and they're doing some sort of signal with their hand, or they're wearing some sort of bit of jewelry, and that's really this, and it means this, and so these people are really on this side. It's just like it's stretching. It's real stretch, I reckon. It's like.
And did you hear about the HEX OG cabal that was going around a couple of weeks ago? I remember like there was like a HEX OG cabal. Like I never that's all I just the word cabal, HEX OG cabal was getting used.
Yeah.
And they were just talking about how like there's a group of.
Well, shouldn't we be in a HEX OG cabal?
What fucking cabal are we in? What what cabal are we? Are we like getting a cabal is like some sort of secret society, isn't it? It's like some sort of secret group. Yeah. There's no fucking secret group that I know that I'm in. Like what? It's
no, we're missing out. No one's inviting us to the secret groups.
Yeah, no one's inviting us to any groups, man. I think they're telling us. I think they're telling me, trying to tell me something. Hey, I'm on episode 194. I'm definitely going to make it to 200. And then I might just shut up shop. I think I've had enough.
Unless you get invited to a secret cabal.
Unless I get invited to a secret cabal with some, yeah. I don't know, man. It's just like, what? This has got nothing to do with crypto. Why? Like,
people and their money. It's people are very emotionally invested in their money.
Do you I think finishing up now that and I've spoken to you about this, I think finishing up on 200 would be like a nice round number. 200 episodes. We didn't do it for like, just so people.
How about instead of doing it weekly, you do it monthly or something?
Yeah, I mean, I will still jump on stream. Like, Dozer does a Friday stream, and I'm just like maybe that HEX Late Show.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, or maybe it just needs to be at a different time. It's just I'm getting this time on a Tuesday evening is getting like, I don't know. It's just getting difficult for me. And
you've been doing it every week for years. You've been the stalwart. You've been like solid as a rock every week for like how long? 4 years now?
We started in, what was it, June of 2020? June or July.
So-
I think it was June, late June.
3.5 years.
And like there was a period of time where we were doing tour weeks because we were doing Saturday. Remember, we were doing Saturdays as well.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
why we have almost 200, but we haven't been going. We haven't been going for. We haven't been going for because 200 would be 4 years. Like it would be just under 4 years. But yeah, there was a period.
You don't have to make it so dramatic that you're shutting up shop. You could just say, I'm not doing it I'm just doing it whenever I want to do it. And you just randomly.
Bro, we're going to shut up shop. We should make a big deal out of it. Don't you reckon? Like have some drama. Let's make up some shit. Why are we shutting up shop? Fucking Sammy kicked me in the dick or something.
Sammy got you into all these meme coins and you lost your whole HEX bag.
Blame Sammy.
You and Sammy are fighting.
But like I'm streaming with, and this is like I'm really enjoying this. I'm streaming with Par Hexcellence, Dozer, and Hex Enthusiast on Fridays. So it's not like the channel would stop. It's just like maybe this particular time slot.
I mean, this time slot's always been a bit of a weird one because it's so early for Americans, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that's why it was called the HEX Late Show. It's like you have to be up real late as an American to watch this one, or super early. Yeah. But like, it's probably smarter to have it at a better time. But it was really just to fit in with your lifestyle.
Yeah. So now, yeah, and this sort of fits in, right? What OGI is saying, what happened with the rest of the crew wasn't following lately. Not I don't think anything's happened with anyone. Everyone's
still kicking around.
Yeah, everyone's still kicking around. Like it's just that, life happens and
well, now what's his name? Tangent was on this one on the 7 stream. And I think they were, because I was watching that just before our show. So he just decided to choose 7 as opposed to us.
which is absolutely fine. Tangent, Tangent should stream.
Tangent's been kicked out.
Let's create some drama. Yeah.
He's been going on Crypto 7.
No, man, like we've got a chat group that we've had, and basically anyone from that chat group can jump in at any time. Like you used to stream every week, and then there was a good year or maybe year and a half that you sort of took off streaming. Was it a year or a year and a half or something like that? At the very beginning, it was
real patchy. I was determined to like to keep it up every week, but then it was getting ridiculous. Like I'd have to, especially if I was in the North America, and I'd be having to wake up at like a ridiculous hour to get on. And
when you're in South America,
that was shitty internet, and so I was just like, it's not working. So yeah, so I dropped the ball quite a bit there, but because through circumstance.
Yeah, that's it. And like Sammy jumps on when she can. You've been jumping on when you can. Tangent has been like, it was for quite a while. It was just Tangent and me doing most of the shows, just us two for quite a while there. And in the beginning it was Unwrecked and me, and then you were there as well, Bluey. So it's we've been doing it for a while. There's so many, like, when it comes to like the quality of streamers, I'm not under any I don't know about you, Bluey, but I'm not under any false illusions. Like I do this as a bit of fun, and I enjoy talking to these people that I stream with. That's why I do it. But But yeah, there's heaps of much better speakers, much more well spoken than I am, and more knowledgeable. And I think that they're doing a good job. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more people. I've said that since the beginning when we were streaming. When I started streaming, it's like we need more people streaming. And I'm just getting a bit long in the tooth when it comes to all of this. And unless I've got like people I've never been really much of a solo streamer. So unless I've got people to stream with, it's like,
hard work. Yeah.
There's heaps of we got heaps of good streamers. Like I listen to a lot of the streamers. Everyone's got their own style. It's pretty cool.
You know who I've been getting into lately is Hunzi. Hex Hunzi or Hunzi Crypto or something. I can't remember. He just does straight up TA analysis, but he does it on a whole load of different stuff, and he takes requests and stuff. And I've been really enjoying that. Actually, there's something I've been wanting someone to explain to me. I don't know do you know much about technical analysis?
Not really, mate. No.
We need Tangent to explain it. Well, I'll say what it is. It's like he always talks about definite bullish divergence, definite bearish divergence. You've got some bullish divergence there. You've got some bearish divergence there. And I know, I know what that means. It means that it's about to go bullish or about to go bearish or whatever. But and I know that he uses the RSI, and I know that the RSI is an indicator which is it's called the relative strength indicator, and it shows momentum. But I don't really know how bullish or bearish divergence, why they make that assumption when they're seeing certain patterns on the RSI compared to the price. I just want someone to explain that to me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not something I've ever really spent much time doing. Hey guys, put in the chat which streams do you guys like listening to? I've been listening to I listened to the KDP, Access Alive, and Crispy Man stream the other day. That was a really good stream. Who else did I listen to? I was listening to one today as well. I was listening to Nerd Girl and who's the guy?
So par excellence, as I said, bullish divergence is when the RSI is making higher highs when the price is making lower lows. So that's why. So it's like people are starting to buy into it, and so that's why the RSI is making higher highs, but the price is low. So you would think it's a great time to get in because it's going to go up. Is that the kind of? Whereas I suppose the opposite would be if the RSI is making lower lows and the price is making higher highs, that would be a bearish divergence because everyone's getting in at the top basically, and it's slowing down all the people getting in at the top, and it's probably going to go down or something like that. Yeah.
And bearish divergence is when the RSI is making lower lows while the price is making higher highs. Okay.
I'm also just curious, the RSI, what is it actually measuring? I mean, it takes me. I'm probably just a Google.
What does RSI stand for?
It's the relative strength index. So they say it's a measure of momentum. So I guess it's got to do with the amount of people buying or selling. Well, that net is if it's going up or down or something like that.
They're saying Creative Crypto is a good stream.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Lit GAINZ? Is it Lit GAINZ? The guy?
He was entertaining for a while. I sort of stopped. But yeah, Creative Crypto. That's interesting. I've never heard of that.
Creative Crypto.
And I like Somi a lot. I find Somi so entertaining.
Yeah, I think Somi's great. Yep, yeah, he's good. He's got. I
can't watch all these stuff. He puts so much content out though; it's ridiculous.
I pick what I think I will be interested in, because like he's not always he's great. Like he's great. I like his energy. He's got his own style. He does his own thing. He's probably, out of all of our stream, when I say our, it's like I've claimed him like he's ours. He's his own dude. He does what he wants, right?
Yeah.
But he is probably the most, I think the way he does it is very professional, like crypto professional, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I think KDP's only really just started recently. I think she's doing a really, really good job of streaming. I'm trying to think of who. Obviously, I'm a massive fan of like Maddie Allen's show, and
I haven't listened to that for ages, actually.
and
Maddie's
also like Discourse Syndicate, which we were on for the longest time. We're on the Discourse Syndicate channel.
I haven't listened to that stuff for a long time.
Yep. Who else do I like listening to out of all the streamers? Obviously, guys like Tangent are great to listen to whenever he does any stream out and about.
I wish he'd do more solo streaming though. He was much better solo.
Yeah, he had his own way of
Tangents, just tangent to tangent to tangent. He's so entertaining.
Yeah. Well, you sort of, I feel like you discovered him, sort of. You were one of the first people to mention him, because we were just.
I thought he was awesome. Wanted you guys to watch him, get him on. I just thought he's brilliant. Yeah, but he would have come to be known without me.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
yeah,
because he was on that.
He was on D Live. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm missing like a lot of OG streamers who are obviously, people like Crypto Coffee.
He's still doing stuff quite regularly though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's also pretty like professional about his, how he goes about it. I love RG3's shtick with the pirate stuff. Yes. I love it. Who else? I like listening to Randy. I like I like people who hate each other as well. Like, yes. I will, like, I can listen to Freddie Quotes do a steak and bake, and then I can listen to Wales Only, like, straight up. Like, I can, you know what I mean? Like, I can listen to people who straight up hate each other. I don't get involved. Like, it's got nothing to do with me, but I'll listen to any of them.
Hey, Zigzag, that's really cool that Sammy brought you into HEX. That's fucking awesome.
That is awesome. Good stuff, yeah. Zigzag. How are you finding it, Zigzag? Have you DCA'd? Gym Rat. What happened to Gym Rat?
Is he still around? They just stopped. They were doing it like every day for ages. Yeah, I mean, I still like. I really like tuning into. He's not a Hexagon. What's his name? Adam Stokesy.
Yep, massive fan. And you got me onto
storytelling. Like, there's something about Stokesy. Yeah, and I keep up to date on Martin North and the Walk the World or whatever and all that stuff. I haven't listened for a while.
Dollar Cost Crypto. I know you've got like I think Dollar Cost Crypto has been a great streamer, like since the early days of HEX.
Yeah, I'm not so into. Yeah,
but he's got like when he does his streams, man, he they've got their way of doing their streams, and they've got like a formula, and it like they must be doing it something right, man. They get a lot of views, lot of live views, and then they
Yeah.
get a lot of even more follow-up views, like heaps and heaps of follow-up views, and
No doubt he's very popular. Yeah, he's very popular. I just like,
but he's got
remember
a
all the
formula, like a
I just
really good formula.
he was shilling like early on in that cultivate crypto thing, and I was just like, man, you're just leading people to the slaughter.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like he must have, they must be doing something right that's working
People
for
like,
their clients,
Yeah.
because their clients, they seem to be doing very well with all that stuff. So, I mean, we can, you could only like see stuff from afar. You can't really know how it's going, apart from the
and
fact that
I
they're
haven't
still
watched him
doing
for ages. I haven't watched him for a very long time, so maybe
and he's still going, and they're going from strength to strength, and they've got a lot of people who watch. I tune in, when I see that they're live, I tune in, and I always find it extremely entertaining. I think they're great.
What about
yeah.
outside of do you watch stuff outside of the HEX bubble, like other crypto channels?
I think some of that stuff is outside the crypto, like the HEX bubble, I would say. But who else?
I've been watching a bit of Ivan on tech every now and then, just because the time zone matches up where I am at the moment, so it's on at a good time.
Oh, we
And,
missed Klaz. We missed Klaz.
Yeah, I
Klaz
watched.
is. I have
Klaz
to
is with
say, yeah, I've got to say that I think Klaz has been like the quiet achiever of like the Australian streamers, like with
Yeah.
some really like decent guests that she's had. Like she's had Lamont Black,
Right.
and she's had Adam Stokes,
Yeah.
and she's had like a whole bunch of smart girls on there as well, smart women. So I'm a big fan of Klaz as a streamer. I think she's great. Who else is out there? Who else is doing a good job? Of course, Pa Hanks Dozer is doing a great job on Fridays, shilling for our own channel.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else is there? So many.
I mean, I like watching Crypto Man Ran every now and then if he's live. It's kind of interesting when how he doesn't mention or talk about Hex and Pulse and stuff, especially when the big bubbles are there. Like if there's a big bubble on Hex or Pulse, I'd like to go watch Crypto Man Ran to like see if he mentions it or not, kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why that is, man. Why do you think he's sort of disses Hex and Pulse? Like maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just not interested in it. Maybe he's like so in like people pump their own bags, right? So maybe he just doesn't have much of a.
He doesn't have a bigger bag. No,
Maybe
for me
he
it
has-
was really what he has, because that's what basically what he's pumping. But I still kind of like, I enjoy, I don't know, I think the format of his show, I could see Somi doing that kind of formatted show and doing really well.
Oh, the other I've thought some more. There's so many that they just pop up. RH Max, and because he does talk about a lot of technical stuff.
Max is fantastic. Yeah, he's awesome.
And also I like Corey Costa Crypto.
Yeah, he has some great people on, Corey. He had that legal guy on recently, Legal Herbs, which is a great.
He's probably had some of the highest out of everyone. He's probably interviewed the highest profile people in crypto.
Oh yeah, he's interviewed Charles Hoskinson.
Wendy O as well, and
Can you call
he's
her?
had Ben Armstrong on as well.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't Bitboy or Ben Armstrong going to do a thing on Hex and Pulse recently?
Yeah,
Like he said in a tweet he was going to do a whole thing on it or something. Did he do it? Man, his channel, the people after like he was kicked off his channel or whatever, that channel has gone down the gurgler. Like it's amazing how
he was the channel. That's what
how
I think.
important that channel, hey, like
People
really,
don't. Yeah, people don't they separate, like it's like he was the channel,
yeah.
and if he
I don't think
starts,
I don't think they would have realized how much he was that channel. Like maybe they didn't have a choice in terms of kicking him off or whatever. I don't know exactly what happened, but man, what a fucking like night and day. Like they've lost just so many viewers, hey.
yeah, just trying to think who else is out there. I think I've said most of, like, there's heaps of other people, but probably people that I don't like watch on a regular basis. I would say that a lot of those streamers, I probably tune into something of theirs every 2 or 3 weeks, at least. Like all of the ones I've mentioned.
Do
And there's
you still keep up to date with like what's his
Cabana
name? Like
Crypto. That's another one.
no, like with people outside the Hex ecosystem. Like is what's his name? Is Peter McCormack? Does he still make content like regularly?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
they do.
and what
I don't listen to, I don't so much listen to him, but if he has a good guest, I'll listen.
yeah,
If you
right.
know what I mean? Like if he has a guest that I want to hear from, and there are some Bitcoin guys who I will listen to. Like there's a guy called, what's his name? Is it Breedlove?
Robert Breedlove.
I've got to find his name. Either Breedlove, is it Robert? Give me a second.
Oh yeah. Zigzag saying AM crypto is like is doing the Jim Cramer of the crypto world.
Robert Breedlove, yeah, that's it. That guy. There's a lot of other people who, and then from there, it's sort of then you get into all the non-crypto people who you listen to.
Well, Peter McCormack had Vivek on. That would have been interesting. Kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, there's heaps of streamers, so it's not like us stopping is going to leave, a void or anything.
Gaping hole in the
Yeah.
Hex stream.
How will they ever how will they ever get on without us? There's probably a rather large portion of the community that, just to themselves will probably be like, thank fucking Christ that dude stopped streaming.
Yeah, I don't think so. Who would? Like, why would you think that? They're leeching it, leeching all of our viewers. They're 20 or 30 people that are watching every week.
Yes, we're taking away from, we're taking away from them. And I guess the thing is that it's not like we ever took it that seriously, if you know what I mean. Like I took it seriously from the perspective of being consistent. That from that side of it, I've always taken it seriously. I like, being disciplined in that way or being consistent. But as far as like preparation, as you can see, there's it's not like that much preparation goes into it, unfortunately. But we've sort of gotten through gotten through for a few years,
Yeah.
which is actually a bit sad.
So we've done well out of it though. Tell you what.
We've done well. I'm sure plenty of people in HEX have at least heard of the HEX Late Show. Maybe
Yeah, now people know.
they've
a
heard of
lot
us.
yeah.
Hey, if in a few years' time, you get I actually get a chance to meet some people, and they remember the show from a few years back, I think that will be, enough fame and glory for me, mate. If someone remembers it in like 5 years' time,
Dude, you're gonna be swamped. When you finally end up at a HEX meetup somewhere, like you will be swamped because like people know you for sure.
well, that would be nice, man. There's a lot of people I'd like to meet as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. All the people I've mentioned, and tons more. There's so many people I didn't mention, by the way, who've streamed. Like, I'm just thinking, like, what about a Wild SJ? There's a bit. All the streamers starting with ATX crypto. There's heaps of them. There's heaps of them. So yeah, yep, we've done well. Dude, was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. We've been going over 2 hours.
Over 2 hours, yes.
Yeah.
Done well.
It's good
Thanks
that people like I'm just like reading the chats and stuff. It's good, like Zigzag. It's awesome people like you are coming in and giving some more energy and like yeah, I like it's great seeing new people, just crypto enthusiasts coming in and looking at all the streams and fucking doing all your research and all that kind of stuff. It's brilliant to see.
Look, we're not. This is not the last show, by the way. This is not. It's not like we're winding up tonight. It's not determined. It's just something that's been. I sort of wanted to get to that round number, but it would be nice. I've got to try and get Unwrecked on. Yeah, there's no way that we can wind up without Unwrecked coming on.
Big time. Yeah,
and we'd have to try and get everyone.
Yeah, 200. So that's in like 6 weeks' time, huh?
Yep. Try and get everyone on. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. All right. Well, big thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. We will we'll see you next week. For the time being, we'll see you next week. And are you back next week, Bluey?
Yeah, I should be. Yeah, I should be because I've got good internet and I'm kind of settling down in this city for a while. So, yeah, like I'll be back next week.
Yep. Awesome, man. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. And take it easy and remember, DCA the dip.